I just ran out.
What's wrong?
Of coffee.
I
just ran out. This is my third cup. I don't normally have 3 cups in the morning. Not
You
really.
don't?
No. I usually do 2 or a great big cup. Rob and Lizz in the morning. His radio, Brian, is filling in for Rob this week. But I'm hearing 4 cups is probably the max. 4 8-ounce cups.
Okay. How about you, Scott? How much coffee do you drink a day?
That's probably what I drink a day.
4
About
cups?
4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 or 4.
So-
but now I don't know how many ounces are in each cup. I've got a little thermos.
That thing is 96 ounces.
I know.
dude.
I was just thinking. That doesn't, compute.
I'm calling it a cup.
But do you also then drink tea or soda?
A little bit.
Okay, so that's where the problem's going to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, according to the research, and I
Okay.
think everybody's different. Some people can take more than others. I can literally have a cup of coffee and go to bed and sleep like a rock all night
I
long.
used to be able to, and I can't do it anymore.
Really?
It messes with me big time if I do that anymore. It's just, I can't do it. I used to be able to do it. I mean, can't. I can't.
The
And
only-
I'm down like 1 cup of coffee a day now.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, the only time I feel the caffeine is if I have coffee and I don't eat anything to go along with it. Then I start to get the jitterbug a little bit. But they're saying, if you drink 4 cups of coffee, each cup of coffee has 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay.
And so if you're drinking 4 8-ounce cups and then
Okay.
you have soda and you have chocolate and you have anything else that has caffeine in it, then you probably won't rest well.
She's talking to you, Scott.
Yeah, I feel like it.
I remember my dad when I was a kid. He would always have to have a cup of coffee wherever he went. I remember anytime we would go out, he'd be like, hold on. Let me go get a cup of coffee for the road. Let me take it with me. And I'm slowly turning into my dad.
I feel like that maybe is the older generation because my dad and my uncle, like if we knew my aunt and uncle were coming over, my Uncle Dow, man, you better have some coffee percolating.
Oh, and that's my wife's grandmother and her mom. If people were coming over, and it could be 4, 5, 6 in the evening, hey, we'll put on a pot of coffee, and they'd,
I don't put on coffee for anybody. I mean, I have a Keurig, so you can just pop a K-cup in, but that's not even a thought in my brain to have, I better start the coffee.
That's the olden days right there. We gonna what did you say, percolate?
Percolating it.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
A few minutes ago, you just started dying laughing. What in the world happened?
So I'm getting a text from my husband, and I have said before, our new puppy, Copper, we got her at Christmas. She's wild. She is absolutely...
She like a wild child?
She is like a wild child. She's like a toddler. So I get a text, first line, and I see it on my watch. It says, "Your dog is horrible."
Oh, no. Oh, man.
And it's from my husband, and it says, so this morning, so he goes to tell me the story. He said, I fixed Charlie, who's the 4-year-old golden doodle, who is the most well-behaved dog, like ever. He says, I fixed Charlie a peanut butter sandwich. And then I go...
Wait. Okay, your dog eats peanut butter sandwiches?
So Charlie is very dainty. She's a diva. She will go to her little food bowl and take one little nuggie, one little kibble, and she's good for an hour. You know what I mean? Like she just doesn't. She is not motivated by food at all. So we have to give her things to make her eat.
So peanut butter sandwiches, what else?
Sometimes he will make macaroni and cheese in the morning and mix that in with the dog food. And then other times he'll make her cheese toast in the morning and kind of rip it up and put it down in the dog food
Gotcha.
to get her to eat. She's not overweight. Not at all.
No.
Like it's hard to get her, to gain weight. So he says, I fixed Charlie a peanut butter sandwich. I go to put the peanut butter in the pantry. As I walk back into the kitchen, I see Copper hightailing it into the living room. And he goes back, sandwich no longer on the counter. She inhaled that sandwich. Ugh, love you.
Oh, my gosh. You got a dog thief. Your dog's a food thief.
She is crazy when it comes to food. So if you give her her food, okay, if she ever gets a hold of Charlie's food, if we don't take it up, Copper goes straight to Charlie's food, puts her hands on either side of the bowl to hold it down. so that you can't get it away from her. She won't bite. She won't even act like she's going to harm you. She won't growl, nothing. She just holds the bowl down with paws and puts all of her weight on it. And so you have to wrestle the food away from her. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah.
How do you fix that? How do you curb that? How do you make it not happen anymore?
I don't know. Maybe you know and you can help us out. Maybe that's happened to you in the past, but I'm just thinking, man, the life of your dog.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So yeah, it happened. It went down at my house this morning. My husband texted me, and our puppy, Copper, we just got her right at Christmas, so she's a little girl. She's young. She's not a little girl, because she will steal food in a heartbeat. She stole a peanut butter sandwich that was meant for our other dog this morning. And we have to watch her. She will take it out of your hands. Like if you are walking through, the house or whatever, and you've got a chip in your hand, girl has no problem.
Really?
Just like...
She'll snap that right out your hand?
She will. And she doesn't snap. Like, she's gentle with it. But... she'll take it. And that's how I'm training her right now. I just haven't trained her to stop stealing food.
All right, Heather, what happened?
I heard your story about your dog eating the peanut butter sandwich, and I do not have any advice on how to stop it. But I would tell you, you are not alone. We have a dog, Aries, and for example, one time I had a whole takeout pizza in a box on the island. I went to throw in a load of laundry. I came back, the box was just slightly open, but when I opened it, the entire pizza was gone. And he was laying on his bed with the last slice. I don't know how he ate it so fast. And we learned, okay, we can't leave certain things out, but sometimes you just forget. So like at Christmas time, he ate a whole sheet of gingerbread cookies out of the oven. Anything you leave, if you blink, he's going to take it and eat it. And he does the same thing with our other dog's food. He will not eat his, and he'll wait till they're done and then eat whatever they have left and then go back and eat his food.
That is wild. And my favorite part is he got in the box and it closed back. Is that what you said?
It did. It's like he closed it back. He's very sneaky. He knows how to do these things to make it look like he did nothing.
I didn't do anything, Mama. Stop blaming me.
I don't know who ate that pizza.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Our dog, Copper, our puppy, stole a peanut butter sandwich off the counter this morning. And my husband texted me and gave me a play-by-play. And so now we're hearing your stories. And these are hilarious. It's his radio, by the way, if I didn't say that. Heather texted and said, okay, so she sent us a picture of Samson. She said, do not let his face fool you. He's an 11-month-old lab, and he is tall enough to get things off the counter, the trash, out of the sink. He loves to chase chickens. Nothing is safe. The only thing, and I get this 100%, Heather, the only thing that saves him is that adorable face.
Gosh, and he's got the Christmas lights around his neck, the picture.
The big,
look
like,
at that
innocent
face.
eyes. I didn't do anything.
I didn't eat that.
Jess texted. This is going to crack you up. Okay, Jess said, we had a dog that would crack pecans.
Oh, no.
He would eat the nut, and then, like a baseball player, you know how they eat sunflower seeds? And then it goes, would spit out the shell afterward.
Oh.
Tiffany said, she texted 800-447-7234, said our dog ate the Thanksgiving leg of lamb. He has a stomach of steel. He just ate the meat off the bones.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, Lisa, what happened?
So I've been hearing you talk about your dog this morning, and I ironically have a dog named Cooper. So it must be something about those names.
It must be.
We have a cat that we had before we got our dog Cooper, and the cat, since we had him first, had his food on the floor and everything. We had to move the food up, and we put it on our chest freezer. And then my husband had to build something to move it off of that because of the dog. So these dogs, it must be something about food and then stealing the food.
So,
and my 23-year-old is still mad at the dog for stealing her steak off of her bed. She had a plate of steak, and I don't know, probably 5 years ago, she left the plate there to go get the steak sauce, and she stole the steak.
And she won't let it go. She is still holding on to that.
That's a mistake she won't repeat.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that was the perfect dad joke.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
It is a huge deal if your kid misplaces their stuffy, their lovey, whatever it is. So this happened at an airport, Greenville Spartanburg Airport in the upstate of South Carolina. United flies out of GSP, and so Carol works for United.
Yep.
One of her coworkers found a stuffy, and they say it's a well-loved stuffy.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it. It's been around the block a time or two.
It has been around the block. So Carol, they checked lost and found. Nobody had reported that they were missing a stuffy. So on Facebook, she posted from the stuffed animal.
Yeah. Posted said, was lost. I was left on a United flight. I really miss my person. Please spread the word. I'm officially Jellycat Bashful Pig.
I don't know what that is, but it must be not the company,
Is that
but
a pig?
the actual.
I'm looking at a picture of it, and check it out on his radio TV. Is that?
It kind of looks like a bear.
Yeah,
To me.
but then I'm seeing Piglet from Winnie the Pooh.
I guess so, yes.
Yeah.
And you can't really see the nose anymore. And I mean, that's the way they look. My daughter is a little older now, and she had Polly, who was her stuffed bear.
Oh, okay.
Polly's eyes have been painted with fingernail polish.
Oh, okay.
I think Taylor used to sort of gnaw on the nose a little bit. And so, Polly probably needs to be restuffed and resewn a little bit. But this one is well loved. They have not found the owner yet.
Oh, so Jellycat Bashful Pig. Our hope is it will find itself all the way home. Whee!
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So I'm scrolling on social the other day, and I run across this girl, or this woman, I should say, and she is talking about what wives want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so
okay.
I think it's going to be very helpful
For me?
for you,
Okay.
for Brian, and for any husband, boyfriend, to know, what the women in your life are actually wanting. If you could understand the woman in your life better, wouldn't that be helpful, Brian?
Oh, man, I am in such a tight spot right here. Yes, it would be so helpful if
It would
we
be.
knew.
If you just knew.
I got the owner's manual, and it keeps adding chapters to it.
Well, because
The
okay.
scariest words ever. What's wrong? Nothing.
Or I'm fine.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, my son and I were having this conversation
Yeah.
yesterday. He
Yeah,
said, well, I feel like you're mad at me. And I said, no, I'm not. I said, you'll know because I will say I'm fine.
Ah, okay. So, all right. So she
Okay,
said.
so she is giving us you a little information, a little advice.
Okay.
We don't know what we want to eat, but we don't like any of your ideas. And we want to save money and eat at home, but the idea of cooking is exhausting and we don't want to. We want to go out on dates. But if we ask you to go on a date, we're mad because you didn't ask us to go on the date.
Okay.
Preach.
Yeah, it's clear as mud now.
Preach.
Clear as mud
And,
now.
when I hear that, now this is all stereotypical, of course, but when I hear that, I identify.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is so true. We leave church on Sunday. Where do you want to eat? Oh, my God. Well, I don't care. You make the decision. I say this. You make the decision. And he'll say something. And I'm like, well, I had that yesterday, or I'm not really feeling that. So I get it, 100%. We're not trying to be difficult, but it's hard to tell you what we want when we don't know.
Yeah.
In some cases, what we want.
That's the biggest thing. That's our biggest thing is the eating thing when we're out somewhere, trying to come up with that.
Yeah.
And I don't say we fight about it, but
Yeah.
we have some intense moments of fellowship.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I feel bad for this kid.
I do too. Eric is his name, and Eric is 6'10". He plays football. Doctor says probably still a couple of years of growth left in him,
What?
and he's 14.
He's 6'10" and he's 14?
Yeah. So, and not only that, okay, here's the dilemma he's in. He has big feet. I mean,
Yeah, I
literally, he is Bigfoot. I mean, he's got a size 22 shoe. Now, you think about it, there's nobody that makes a size 22 shoe. They lucked out. Somebody was in an outlet and found some size 22 shoes that were made for an NBA player.
Okay.
And so they snatched up these shoes. He's been wearing these. They're like a yellow Nike shoe, but he's outgrowing them. Okay. Not only that, he's getting blisters.
Oh, poor
He's had to have
thing.
both of his toenails, his big toenails, removed because he keeps getting ingrown toenails.
Well,
So
if your shoes are too tight, that's going to happen.
And they've
yeah.
been professionally stretched, but he needs a 23 or 24. Nobody makes that size shoe.
And the companies won't help. Like, have they reached out? I
Yeah,
wonder?
they've reached out to like Nike. They've reached out to Adidas and like, look, unless he's a professional athlete, we ain't, They said some of the smaller companies have maybe been a bigger help. One company said, hey, let him go viral. Then maybe we'll look at helping them.
It's not a bad idea.
And so the family now, and of course, Eric didn't want, the attention, but they finally said, look, if whatever we can do to find some shoes for him, because it would be like $1,500 to $3,000 a pair to custom make some shoes for him.
Oh my! I feel so bad for this kid.
I mean, literally, when he plays football, he doesn't wear cleats. He can't because
he only wears the yellow.
he only
shoes.
wears the yellow shoes that he has because he can't find a pair.
So he's actually in danger if he's not
Seriously.
wearing the cleats to be able to get
Seriously.
the traction.
And
he
you would
needs.
think, okay, a guy this big, nobody's going to pick. He's even getting bullied as well.
Well, because he's wearing
Yeah.
the yellow every day. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I thought, so my oldest son grew very quickly.
Okay.
Not like that. But I think he was 6 feet in like 8th grade or whatever. But he wears 13 and a half, 14 shoe.
Okay.
And those are hard enough to find.
I know.
And, once you find that size, then you only have like 2 different colors or whatever. So he has to get his online now. So what's the kid's name? Eric?
Eric is his name, and Eric says, he says, man, I would love to have some Air Jordans. I would love to have. He said, I haven't even shopped for a pair of boots. I would love to shop for a pair of boots.
Okay, I feel like Michael Jordan's family is within listening distance, so maybe get on that.
I know.
Help Eric
I know.
out a little bit.
And he simply says, I just want some shoes.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Winter Jam. Ann Wilson is
Yes.
part of Winter Jam, and she was in Greenville, South Carolina.
Never going to try to keep me out of my
church a couple weeks ago, and she shared something with you.
Yeah, it was so neat. Got a chance to catch up with her before kind of the doors opened and everything like that. And she said, and she brought it up. She said, I got to share the story. This happened this afternoon. And she got an Uber, and she was going back to the arena, and she said the Uber driver started talking about his past, and it was, some struggles that he'd had, been in jail and things like that. But he says, I want you to know, and we found out she was an artist there for Winter Jam. I became a Christian listening to his radio.
Wow.
I'm like,
What?
What? I mean, we hear these stories, and you hear us share these stories all the time. It's like, does it happen? When an artist comes up and says, this happened to me this afternoon, that's the impact your giving has on his radio listeners. People are coming to know Jesus, and that's what it's all about.
I know, and I would love to hear more of his stories. So if that's you and you shared that with Ann Wilson,
Call
we would
us.
love to hear. Yeah, because I would love to hear, like, how did it happen? But it was, the songs. God works through not only the songs that you hear on his radio, but what's in between the songs as
Yeah.
well. Because you may say, oh my goodness, that sounds just like me. Or maybe it's one of the prayer requests that comes in, or it's sharing of the prayer line number, and whatever that story is, you have the opportunity to make a Jesus story for somebody else, which I think is so cool. If you could be part of a catalyst that brings somebody to a relationship with Jesus, is there anything really better than that?
Yeah, because, immediately I was just thinking about one day in heaven, you running into somebody and they thank you, and you go, I don't even know you. Say, yeah, but you supported his radio, and that's how I came to know Jesus. I mean, just the impact your giving has. You may never know here, but I think one day we'll know. And
What that gift was,
What
yeah.
that gift was all about. And if you want to make a gift, get us off to a great start. Friendraiser. Did you say 3 weeks from today?
3 weeks from today
All right.
is when we're kicking off Friendraiser. And so time is limited, and we have to make this goal that
That's
we've
right.
set because we want to keep the ministry, and I know you do too because you're listening. You want to make sure that this station and Sharing Jesus is there forever,
Yeah.
as long as absolutely possible. And so you have the opportunity to do that.
Go online to hisradio.com. You can open up the My His Radio app. It's free in the App Store and Google Play. You tap giving right there, or text the word give to 800-447-7234.